Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Hart. Today I'll be breaking down the Game 5 NBA Showdown slate here on DraftKings. We had 250K up top to first place, potentially the last game of the NBA season. Denver's up 3-1, and I think it's a 9-point spread, so there is a big chance that this is the last game of the NBA season. So if it is, just want to say thank you guys for everything. It's been a fantastic NBA season. Really appreciate all the support from the start of the season until the very end. I think we gained over 2,000 subscribers since the start of the season. So can't thank you guys enough. Going to be an absolutely insane next season when it comes to the NFL and NBA. I'll have a website out for you guys where there will be optimizers, projections, all that good stuff for probably the cheapest amount in the industry. So I'm all about giving you guys the most value, the most bang for your buck. So stay tuned for that next season. It's going to be absolutely wild for that. For DFS, the DFS side, as well as PrizePicks, I'll have an optimizer and all that stuff out for that. Once again, will be probably the cheapest in the industry. I'm all about value, giving you guys the best value, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, going to be breaking down this slate, going over my top captain plays, my top utility plays, all the good stuff in this video. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and let's get into this breakdown. Before I get into breakdown, just want to say follow me on Twitter at HeartDFS. We also just got some big news here for the Miami side. Tyler Hero is potentially making a return tonight. I just recorded the breakdown for the showdown slates and was about to upload it, and then I saw the news because I was looking to start my PrizePicks video, and yeah, all the Miami Heat guys were off the board, and I was like, what happened? And then I looked at Twitter, saw that Tyler Hero might be playing tonight, so they obviously took everyone off the board there. So gonna have to remake this video, but yeah, just want to quickly recap my lineup from the last game, Game 4. MPJ, super low on there, 20%. Obviously, he went for another career low game. You know, no one runs worse there. If he would have just had an average game or a very solid game, could have probably been in potential takedown territory. But obviously, you know, knowing me and my luck, he, was once again horrendous. Super frustrating. 3 straight games of him being god awful. But still, Jokic was great, Jimmy great, KCP great, Bruce Brown great, Highsmith. I went with like the 1K strategy where I knew he was probably going to take a 0, but it allowed me to pay up for 2 studs, 2 solid players, role players there, and MPJ in the captain spot. And yeah, obviously did not work out. First place, I think it was split 25 different ways. It was Aaron Gordon, Jokic, Bam, KCP, Bruce Brown, Kyle Lowry. They all split about 10.4K there. And yeah, let's get into this breakdown. 9-point spread. Let's see if it changed. I know it was a 9-point spread, but now that we get the news here, let's see if it went down by maybe a half a point. The interesting thing is we don't know how many minutes Tyler Hero will play. It's still a 9-point spread, 209.5 game total. Favor to the Nuggets. Obviously, it's been being played in Denver, so there is that cardio effect where, you know, a lot of the guys in Miami could get tired because they're not used to the elevation, you know, all that stuff, yada yada. But heading into this breakdown, we'll go over the utility price tags for all these guys. I'll be talking through my favorite captain plays, my favorite utility plays, as you guys know, in these videos. So for the Miami side, I prefer Jimmy over Bam, even though they're pretty much playing at the same level and same fantasy point output recently, especially in these finals. As you can see, Jimmy's really struggled, 36, 40, 38, and then 46. Finally, a solid game last game. He pretty much played the whole game. And then Bam's actually been very solid, 50, 40, 51, and 40. So for the price tag difference, it does make more sense to go to Bam. But I just like Jimmy just because his output, he does everything for the team. Going to probably be playing the whole game tonight. I know Bam will probably play a good amount, but there was always that foul trouble risk with the Bam there. So I still think I slightly prefer Jimmy, even though it's $2,000 more expensive. But they're both really solid plays. Both could be in optimal captain play. Both are solid utility plays. Really like both of them. I like Caleb Martin a lot tonight. Back-to-back games of 30-plus minutes. Now, with Tyler Hero probably back tonight, one of those things is like, is he going to get 15 minutes? Is he going to get 20? Is he going to get 25? Is he going to start? Is he going to play the whole game? We do not know as of right now. So with that in mind, I still think Caleb Martin's one of those guys who really shouldn't be affected too much by this news, just because I could see them running out, a final lineup of either Vincent, Hero, Martin, Jimmy, and Bam, or they can go with Lowry, Hero, Martin, Jimmy, Bam. Obviously, you could throw Strus in there, maybe Duncan Robinson, but I still think Martin's still going to see very solid minutes. I'd say at least 25, if not more. They closed with him last game. He's just a very solid defender. They need his energy, his hustle. They need his defense. So I really like him once again, even with Tyler Hero potentially back. Gave Vincent 5,600. I think he's more of an okay play now. Now that Tyler Hero's back, the main guys he's going to affect is obviously Strus and Duncan Robinson, and he will affect Vincent and Kyle Lowry a little bit as well. So as Vincent gets a start, I still think he's an okay play. But now that Tyler Hero is potentially back, it does muddy the waters with all these guards, because it's just like, will he start? If he doesn't start, how many minutes off the bench is he get? 15, 20, I'd probably assume. Like, they're not going to bring him back and just play him 10 minutes, because it's like, what's the point then? So I think 15 to 20 is what we can expect. If that happens, it really downgrades Duncan Robinson for me, even though he's been playing solid. Duncan probably could see more, maybe 10 minutes. Maybe Kevin Love gets taken out of the starting lineup and they start Martin and they go with like a Hero. A lot of unknowns right now, so it's kind of annoying trying to make this breakdown because there's a million different ways this can go. But I think the main guys it obviously hurts are Strus and Robinson. And then I do think it does affect Vincent and Lowry a little bit. So I think Martin's a safe play there. The rest of these guys are kind of up in the air for me. So it's kind of a wait and see approach. I'll have updates on my Patreon link down below. But yeah, I think Strus is fine. Vincent's fine. Hero now becomes one of those risky plays. It's like, if he sees 15 to 20 minutes, I think he's at that price tag where he looks like a fine play, 5,400. But we'll just have to wait and see. So I'll have updates on my Patreon link down below. Lowry, minutes are now in question. He saw back-to-back 30-plus minutes just because Vincent was playing terrible, foul trouble, and was not shooting the ball well. So he got limited. It meant more minutes for Lowry. But now with Hero back, if Vincent plays fine, they're not going to force Lowry in there. If Hero's playing good, it could potentially keep Lowry out of the lineup. So one of those things, once again, a lot of stuff going on here. Strus, with Hero back, he's been struggling the past 3 games. Maybe Strus doesn't start. Maybe he comes off the bench. I think he's more of an okay play there, 4,000. Kevin Love could potentially not play at all today. If he does, I'd say expect around 15 minutes at most. 3,600, he's a fine play. Duncan, now a very risky play here that Tyler Hero is back. I mean, he's been solid. He's been very, very solid these playoffs. It's just one of those things, like, he could be the odd man out, and just in terms of like his defense. Even though he's been solid, they could look to just replace him with Tyler Hero. And Highsmith, there's probably a 0% chance he plays today, unless there's foul trouble for Bam, which they would probably go to Zeller and Zeller and Highsmith. But yeah, a lot of unknowns right now on this Miami side, which is very annoying, because made this video already. Is looking like it's going to be kind of everything we knew, and then obviously now we have the news that Tyler Hero is probably going to play. So yeah, once again, I can't stress it enough. Just make sure to follow me on Twitter. Hopefully we'll get news on kind of a minutes limit, starting lineup by the time, maybe hopefully an hour or two before the game starts, and I'll have you guys updated there. On the Denver side, not much changes. No news here. Jokic kind of had a letdown game, in air quotes, letdown, and still went for 60. So he obviously is Jokic. Great captain play, great utility play. I think it's one of those things where you could definitely go to Jokic's captain spot, because there's a lot of plays in this 5K range that do have very solid upside. So I do like that move there. Haven't played in the captain spot once this series yet, but I think he has obviously he has that upside. But I do think the upside's more viable now because of all the guys in the 5K range. Jamal Murray, he's become more of a facilitator because of that hand injury that last game. So he went for 12 assists. He's gone for double-digit assists in every game so far in these finals. Very solid upside, as you can see here. So I really, really like him. Very, very solid play here. I think I slightly prefer him over Jimmy, but I still really like both of them. Aaron Gordon, more of a guy you kind of land on. Like, he's been really, really solid this series. Had an outlier game there last game, but we know he's at upside. It's just one of those things. It's like, if you land on him, sure, it's an okay play, but I want to go out of my way to play him, especially at that price tag now of 7,200. Really, really, really like MPJ once again. He's absolutely bankrupted me the past 3 games. Going to continue to play him because it's one of those things you have to throw, especially him, a guy who's a starter, who's a really, really good shooter, good rebounder. You have to throw his past performances out the window. It's not like he's like a 6-man. It's not like he's coming off the bench and he was getting solid run and now he's struggling and not getting any more run. Like, he starts. If he starts, which he does, and he hits the shots, he will see his normal minutes, which could be anywhere from like 35 to 40. And we know he has 40 plus upside, like double upside, 20 plus points rebound upside. So it's like, I really, really like MPJ once again. In DFS, you want to build optimal lineups. He's a guy that provides you a very, very boomer bust, ceiling and floor. I love him today. Once again, it just, can he hit his shots? If he can, he should get his normal minutes, and he should be able to go for a potential double-double and be a very, very solid captain play, if not a very, very strong utility play. So once again, in DFS, you got to throw those starters out the window in terms of their just bad games, and just look at it like, all right, who is upside in this game here? MPJ is one of the guys with probably the most upside as of right now in terms of just his price compared to his potential upside. Bruce Brown, another one of those guys I really like in the 5K range. With that Miami side being all up in the air right now because of Tyler Hero potentially being back, I do think these 5K guys on the Denver side are a little bit more safer and a little bit easier to get to, just because you kind of know their minutes. Like Bruce Brown has been extended a little bit because of KCP playing bad, because of MPJ playing bad. But once again, he's a main guy off the bench. He's a sixth man. He should see mid-20s minutes, even if those guys are playing well. He does have a little bit of downside there, especially if he gets in foul trouble. But I think he's a very, very solid play there, 5,200. I like him once again, coming off a very solid game for me last game. KCP, another one of those guys. I think it's a very solid pivot play. Off of those Miami guys in the 5K range, off of Bruce Brown, off of Kyle Lowry. He saw great minutes last game. It's just he really hasn't been shooting the ball a ton in this series. The series before, when he played against the Lakers, obviously you could say more of a revenge game there. Revenge game narrative for him, and he played very, very well. Double-digit shot attempts in pretty much every game. Since then, his shot attempts have pretty much been cut in half, almost 60% less. But he still has upside, so I think it's a very strong pivot play. And then Christian Brown, I don't think there's a need to get to him. As you can see, everyone absolutely chased his last game there when he went for 23. He followed that up with 15 minutes and only got 6 fantasy points. So it's one of those things. It's not a guarantee. He's not a shooter. He's more just like a slasher, energy guy. If the ball falls his way, he can definitely pay off that price tag, but you don't feel great about it. But I still think he's an okay value. And then Jeff Green, one of those value plays you could play. It just, he plays about 15 minutes. Not very productive, but he's there. So obviously right now, the main news there is Tyler Hero and what's going to happen there. Not really sure as of right now. I'll double check real quick here on my phone to see if we got any more updates about if he's going to play. Let's see here. Yeah, nothing yet. They just said he's upgraded to questionable and probably will return tonight. So once again, make sure to follow me on my Patreon, link down below. I will have updates there. Maybe I'll put up a few updates on Twitter later today as well for those of you not on the Patreon. But yeah, right now, MPJ, probably my favorite captain play. Really like Caleb Martin. Obviously, going to have to get to at least one or two of the Jokic, Murray, Butler, and Bam duos, because Butler and Bam will probably play 45-plus minutes each in a winner-go-home game. Expect probably the same here from Jokic and Murray. They'll probably all mirror each other's minutes. So right now, probably going to throw in... It's hard not to throw in Jokic. And then I do really like getting into KCP as a pivot play. And as I said, a lot going on with this 5K range of, from Vincent down to, honestly, Strus, Robinson. This whole range is affected. Obviously, the Miami side is affected by Tyler Hero, but also does affect the Denver side in terms of like who I want to get to. Like if Hero's going to start, if they're going to take out Kevin Love, put in Caleb Martin, if they're going to, take out Vincent, like who knows what they're going to do with the starting lineup here. I think the safest is Caleb Martin at the top of the range. And then from there, it's a crapshoot on the Miami side until we get the news there. So make sure to stay up to date with me on Twitter. I will have those updates on my Patreon as well. And hit that like button and check out my PrizePicks video after this. Peace.